New Skeletal Faces, fresh roasted metal.
We'll try it.
Yeah.
New Skeletal Faces, this is fresh roasted metal.
Hell yeah.
Right, fuck on. All right, cool. So. What's up, guys? We are back. It is Fresh Roasted Metal. How the fuck you all doing? Philip, what's going on with you?
What's going on? What's going on, everybody?
Good. And Brown Sugar, what's up with you?
You know, same old same.
All right, guys. This week's guest, we have New Skeletal Faces. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
What's up?
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming
Thanks
on.
for
Now,
being here.
we
appreciate
recently
it.
did we did a reaction to Banshee Sex
Sex 2.
Yeah, I always have trouble getting that out. Yeah, and this is one of the videos that we picked out when we were doing reactions. We just picked it out of the thumbnail simply because of the name
Hell yeah, dude.
of your group name and the song. So we took a chance and watched it and absolutely loved it, man. And the first thing I told her was, this is black metal Cure with some punk thrown in.
Hell yeah,
Is that kind of a good description?
That's pretty accurate to me.
Yeah.
Most people don't
Yeah.
even know how to describe it, so at least you guys get it a little bit,
Yeah. That was my question actually for you guys. Like, what would you say you guys are a big sub or just you're your own thing? Because it's really cool.
I mean, yeah, we're kind of our own thing, right? People kind of throw us into the death rock category, but
We're not quite that.
we're not quite that. Yeah, we're a little bit more, like metal, black metal, and classic metal too, and
Yeah.
punk.
I just,
So,
Yeah.
I just think that we're all influenced by dark music across all genres.
Yeah. Well, you guys have that old school Celtic or Celtic frost sound, that that driving sound, and it was just yeah, really cool. But one thing that really stands out, obviously, is the man on the bass. Your bass it's just that so prevalent. That groove is just going through, and when you throw in that guitar and the deep back vocals, it just is a cool sound. Like, just kind of close your eyes and chill. And I really, that really, to me, what stands out about your music, you're mixing up of little varieties of everything. So it's very, very unique, but cool.
Yeah, thank you.
So tell us your story, man. It looks like 2017, you guys released an EP, correct? All right. So tell us the story of New Skeletal Faces, man. How did you guys start, man?
Me and Crow, we kind of started the band first, just me and him, writing a couple of songs, and then we found Don because we were just fucking around with like a drum machine or like keyboard drums and stuff before we found Don. So, and then we kind of went from there. So it kind of started out as like, I guess you could kind of say a studio project, but we wanted to play live, but we didn't have a drummer at the time, so we were just kind of making do with what we had. So yeah, we put an ad out, like, fashion way, drummer wanted kind of a thing, and then we found Dawn. So, and then kind of went from there. So yeah.
So yeah, I was listening to the EP earlier. And the one thing that I've seen from 2017 until you put out the Sextinction, the 2 songs, it feels like you guys have you've stayed true in these few recordings. You've stayed true to the sound, but it feels like it's also gotten heavier production wise. Is there a new producer that you guys are working with? Oh, and the other thing was, do you guys have some new things coming up soon?
Okay, yeah. First, well, the new producer is actually Don. He actually
right over.
Hey, right on.
But he also recorded and mixed a lot of the shit.
We all collectively worked on it, but I kind of had the lead on recording, mixing, and mastering Celestial Disease and Sextinction, and the original demo tape that came out I think it was simultaneously to the EP, maybe even a little later.
A little bit later, yeah.
That was the first cuts of tracks that I played drums on. But yeah, we've all done that in conjunction together, which I mean, the process that we kind of hold to is getting it in mic. So there's just minimal post-processing, you know. Most all tracks are the band together playing, and then with overdubs later. So you know, it's pretty true to what we are.
Yeah.
So who does the writing?
I probably do the most of the writing. I write the lyrics and stuff, and I compose a lot of the songs but it's pretty collective.
Yeah,
too.
everybody makes their own parts their own, but
I feel like when I'm watching this, man, and don't take this as any kind of whatever, but I get like vampire type like a vampire type thing too over the band, like a Transylvania type dark thing as far as your image goes, man. The influences that you guys have actually had and put into this band, have they influenced you as your stage show as well, or is that something different that you guys conceptually came up with?
I don't think we really came up with it. It's just kind of who we are.
Yeah,
you know.
I love that.
So yeah, it's not like something, hey, let's all get together and
yeah, the mega. Yeah, I didn't mean it like that, man. I know. Yeah. So what I meant was, I guess did this style of music let me rephrase that. Did this style of music, because the live stuff that I've watched of you guys, you have a cool live vibe going on too, and that's what I kind of meant. It's like that dark, vampirish type thing, man. So visually with you guys, is visual live something that's important to you guys?
Oh yeah,
100%.
Yeah, we see live shows as an extension of our music, and we try to create an atmosphere with our live show as well as our recorded stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very atmospheric. You guys are that's the other thing we were talking about earlier. You guys are very like an atmospheric band, dude.
Very much so.
How has the crowd response been to you guys you guys are out in Cali, right?
Yeah. You know, it's been incredible. To be honest, we're probably one of the few bands. We play death rock shows, we play punk shows, we've been on black metal and even death metal bills, and it's always worked out.
Well, yeah, that's one of the things you guys are so diverse, you guys could probably go on different type of tours.
Yeah.
So what is death rock now? What are they classifying as death rock now? What's that? What type of bands fall into that genre these days?
Well, like Christian Death and like 45 Grave.
It was old Christian Death. Oh, yeah. I was way into them.
Yeah.
It was basically a dark extension of punk in the late 70s, early 80s.
Very cool.
All right. I love it because the first time that I watched the Banshee Sextune thing, I was like, dude, I think that these guys would be absolutely fucking amazing to see live. Like, I think for me, I would definitely, all right, let me put it like this. There's some bands that I like to listen to, and it doesn't matter on what. And there's some bands that I like to enjoy live. And for me, I feel like to experience your show live, it's just that much more. I think, you know, with, like you guys were saying, with the visuals, with the energy, with the crowd, I feel like that would just make your music just kind of like that much bigger, dude. I love that. I just would have to see you guys live.
How do you guys view this thing, viewing the live scene now versus, let's say, a couple years ago, 2020, and now to now? Obviously, the world shut down, and now you guys are everybody's out and about and doing their things now. Have you seen tons of bands out on the circuit that you're playing with that you never saw before? Do you notice?
It's palpable to me, and if one thing holds true, a ton of bands have reunited over the COVID break. Mm-hmm. So that's been the thing. I mean, there have been a lot of bands that have been kind of gone for the last 6 to 10 years that are all kind of getting back out there now.
Yeah, and people are real hungry for shows right now. So, you know, I mean, with our style of show, I feel like we're kind of giving people what they kind of want. You know, they want to see a show. They want that kind of atmosphere. So, yeah, you know, people have a hunger for it right now.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed. And I think definitely. That you made a good point too. There is a hunger for it, and there's a good reason. We never thought, you know, we kind of got scared in 2020 thinking like, shit, you know, is live music done for good or whatever? Thankfully that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see the flood of bands that have come out with a lot of great music. But on the other hand, how is that affecting you guys in the club? Is there enough room in these clubs for bands to go around, or what's the club situation? Because we hear different things. We hear it's harder on you guys now for some bands and clubs as far as financially goes, man. How are you guys staying out there and staying on top of all these things and not being swept away like some of these other bands?
Every show we promote the old-fashioned way with flyers and record stores. We do
very nice
social medias, and we haven't really had too much. You know, every show is still packed. You know, it hasn't really affected us too much, and we stayed pretty busy all through. You know, when everything was shut down from COVID and stuff, and we stayed real busy writing and working on stuff. So we hit the ground running when everything opened back up.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so
you mentioned that word of mouth, man. How important is that nowadays to you guys? I think we've talked about it before, and I think it's very important, word of mouth. Even though we have the internet, it still feels like word of mouth is an organic thing. What do you guys
almost
think?
Faster, I feel.
Yeah.
Like it's more direct. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I could hit somebody on Insta and be like, hey, yo, check this band. They're hot, they're fire, right? And I mean, who knows how long it'll take for them to see the message. Whereas if I come up to you and I'm like, hey, yo, man, have you guys heard of so-and-so? And they're like, what? You know what I mean? I feel like that, you know, the actual word of mouth, you know, it goes a little bit further than just sometimes the internet.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, to me, word of mouth, it's worth more than the internet.
Yeah,
it does. Like a physical interaction, and to me, that always is worth more. Like, yeah, like bands could have a shitload of likes on Instagram, but like they have no record out and they don't sell anything. I don't know. To me, it's like, yeah, like social media and stuff.
It's a lot of noise.
Yeah, like that kind of comes after the fact. Like that's like a secondary thing, but the most important thing is the hands-on. Like if what you're doing in real life is badass, then that's what truly matters. And then social media, yeah, you whore it out on there because you have something cool in real life, but real life is like what it's all about. Like, you know.
That's fucking cool, bro. That's probably one of the coolest things I've heard somebody say in a while. Yeah. It's cool to hear that. Real life is fucking cool. It's better than you know, getting lost in stupid stuff. And I feel like when I watched the few live clips in the last couple of weeks, that's what it feels like. It feels like you guys have your own following, your own core that love your shit, that get what you do, man. And that's the most important thing. I love that you said that, because I feel it's still very valuable in this day and age to build something organically. Would you guys agree?
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I mean, because with the internet, I love the fact that we have the capability to like do stuff like this and to find new bands and so on and so forth. But man, that human interaction, you know what I mean? I feel like that is what's needed, because I kind of feel like we all get stuck in a box sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So that's why these live shows are super important, to connect with the fans, to share the music, for people to be able to go out and say, yo, man, I went to this badass show last night, blah, 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 go check them out. You know what I mean? I feel like that is just, it's worth so much more, like you were saying.
Yeah,
you know?
it's the grassroots approach. Really, it's just doing it old school, word of mouth. And you're also, usually when you tell people about music, it's friends or things like that, where you kind of know what kind of music they're, and you're like, hey, check this out, because you're kind of, you know, giving that on. And it just, to me, that it's just always been that approach of that connection to the feel of the people, not just through a click or a like. And like you said, a lot of these people, they don't even have any albums out, but it's just it's like a show of just like, hey, you know what I mean? It just, that organicness is truly comes out in your music, but it's a cool way of looking at it. I always look at things grassroots as a more effective, because it's how we communicated just before all the craziness of the social media, you know. And living in LA, seeing, you know, on the telephone poles, you know, pull the little thing off and it had a phone number on it, or go to a club and if you get this, you get a free drink. Like, promoting stuff was just such a way, in the word of mouth and flyers. The fact you guys said flyers just made me so happy, because I used to love going, seeing shows and collecting all the flyers when you would leave and people would hand them out or whatever you had. And it was always, hey, what band? Look, I got a flyer for this and this and this. It was always cool. And I think that is so needed in this environment. It's just not this stale, generic way of dealing with it, like click here or go there. You know what I mean? If you guys understand that.
Yeah, that's another reason we like you guys, is that, again, it's like, it feels like for me, like, take Crow's bass sound, like the heavy, Philip and I were talking about it's like that heavy bass. How do you get your sound for the bass on this, man? What effects are you using to get that?
Yeah, there's some cool effects sound, you're doing, man. Yeah, there's cool effects going on, right?
Yeah, I got a bunch of effects actually.
Yeah.
Use the chorus, a little bit of reverb, a little bit of overdrive. Got a compressor. I try to keep it, although I don't overdo it or anything, but I definitely have a feel and a vibe I'm trying to create, you know, with the bass. And I'm trying to kind of be unique in my approach.
Sure.
So yeah.
A lot of it modified Rickenbacker.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's a big part of it for sure.
Nice. Nice, man. Yeah, that, I think that's one of the things that attracted us at first, was that heavy sound, that bass heavy sound on this, man. You guys, did you all grow up in California?
Yeah.
Okay, so during high school for you guys, man, into your late years in high school, out of high school, what was the bands that shaped you? Each of you, what was the bands that really molded you and got you to where you're at today?
Man, there's a lot of bands I was listening to in high school. It was like a variety of stuff. I mean, I can't really think of, I don't know, maybe like Killing Joke and like David Bowie.
Nice.
You know, like stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
For the big ones were Rudimentary Peni and Bathory.
Bathory.
Okay.
All right. So there's the black metal. There's one of the black metal influences.
Yeah, Corthon, right?
Yeah.
I actually was pen pals with Corthon.
Oh man, that's a cool story, man. I love that. Yeah.
Dude,
awesome.
That's one of the things, like the whole time we were watching this, was like, it's a black metal, it's punk metal, it's all these different things rolled up into one thing. Let's talk about where you guys are headed next. What's coming up next for you guys?
Well, we just we re-released. So we had a cassette single, which is called Knock Zen, and that was released on cassette only a little over a year ago. But because it was only a split cassette with the band Detoxy, it was pretty unknown. So we just this week put that on Spotify. So now kind of the core of our audience can really check that one out. And then we have enough material for more than a full length.
Yeah, we have tons of new material we've been writing. Like we have like enough for a full length right now. And another full length. I mean, I'm not going to give any details on that, but there's going to be another full length. Yeah, and there's
good.
Probably other releases before then too. You know, like maybe like a 7-inch or something like that. But I can't go on that either.
All right. Hey, how important is the physical side of it for you guys? Like you're mentioning cassettes. Is it important for you guys to keep printing out to do things like that? Cassettes, vinyl?
That's the only way we're gonna do stuff. Like the only time we ever didn't do that was the very first EP that me and you did, which was just like through Bandcamp. Like you could download our shit or whatever, and but after that, it was just like it was all pure like physical releases, and we even released like that first shit on like cassette at some point.
Again, grassroots, man.
Like we're not be doing like MP3s only kind of stuff.
We're fortunate in that as a band we move a lot of physical units too, so you know there's a lot of demand. I mean, right now our LPs technically sold out with the copies are only attainable at live shows at this point. We've only got left.
Yeah, I feel like with physical material, we actually get more attention and people buy more stuff. If it was just like a download, people probably wouldn't care. People want to buy physical stuff. So
yeah, and I think that you guys also, in your case, though, I know I would because of the feel of the band, the look of the band, the sound of the band. It's one of those. You're one of those bands like we. This is how we talk sometimes. How we grade some of the music we listen to. Sometimes we're like, hey, if I was at the show, would I buy this band's merch?
Yeah,
you know, to support them. And that's what I feel like you guys bring. You guys have that type of band that people want to buy physical copies. Like you have that. You have that vibe about your band that makes people think, like, if I see your band, I think like limited edition stuff for whatever reason, man, you know, like one run stuff. That's why I was asking you earlier how important it was for the physical, because I find a lot of people now, and even some younger people are gravitating toward the physical, which is cassettes and even 8-tracks in some cases, which is fucking bizarre to me, man, because that's what I grew up on. I grew up listening to 8-track cassettes and fucking the vinyl and stuff. So I think it's really cool that in this day and age, you guys are doing that and getting that, because it's almost like you guys again are starting a little community, a little scene. Would you say that's so? With your fans?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just us too. It's a lot of bands are doing physical stuff too. I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's always important, I feel like. And I felt for a while like, oh, now that you could go to Spotify or you can go to, you know, your iTunes or whatever, I kind of felt like for a minute that, you know, it was starting to, you know, move away from actually having the physical, because you could get, you know, the digital anytime you want it, right? But it's cool to actually have something to be like, oh, yo, man, this is something of my band, you know. It's like, it's almost like showing your, you know, like, hey, this is who I'm with, like this is my colors, you know what I'm saying? It's cool.
Yeah, we're not limited to like a certain like platform. We kind of just do it all, like
try to have all the bases covered.
Yeah, like
right.
Spotify.
Yeah, there you go.
CD, MP3, whatever. Like we do it all. Like we have no limitations.
Yeah, you just want people to hear your music, correct?
Yeah,
exactly. And that's why we love bands like yourself, because it's organic, and you guys actually want to do what you're doing instead of trying to make Instagram stars, like you were saying. You're out there doing it in the clubs and getting in the scene, man. I appreciate you guys, man. I ran through Celestial Disease and was listening to it the other day, and I'm like, dude, it just, the first thing I think of always, man, it's just like that whole, even the videos, man, that you guys do reminds me of when I was growing up on MTV, man, just watching the early shit, that I used to watch on MTV, like The Cure, like all those other the alternative bands that we were growing up on in the metal bands. So guys, before we wrap it up here, man, is there anything that you guys would like to say to your fans, your following, or anybody who's watching about New Skeletal Faces?
Just want to say thanks for the support. Check us out. We have a website, newskeletalfaces.com. We're on all the social medias, like we were saying, Spotify. You can get our merch on indiemerch.com. And thanks for having us on. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
seriously, thank you guys for your time.
This Monday on the 30th
with Sadist from Boston.
Sadist.
Nice.
Hill 2 Club in San Diego. And then we have another show on the
February 4th.
Yeah, February 4th in Long Beach at Supply and Demand. So if anyone's in the area who's listening to this,
I am.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Philip, you're there, bro.
Dude, I've got to find someone to go with me. I'm legally blind, but I still go to shows. I'll just have someone go. But seriously, February 4th, Long Beach, where?
Supply and Demand. It's kind of a newer punk and metal.
All right, Philip. There's your in, Philip.
It is.
You're
awesome.
to the club, man. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Seriously, this is great. February
guys.
4th.
For me, man, I want to say thank you for taking the time to do this, man, because we love this band. We love you guys, and we're interested to keep following you and see where you guys go, man. Now, Philip is going to get the chance to see you guys maybe in Long Beach, right?
Yeah.
Okay, man. Thank you guys so much for doing this, man. And anytime you guys want to promote, time you guys got anything to let us know, hey, we're here, man. Let us know.
Yeah,
we'll help you promote it.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Man.
Yeah.
All right,
awesome.
guys. That is the end of this week's edition of Fresh Roasted Metal. Check out New Skeletal Faces. What was just everything, guys, right? Twitter, Spotify.
At least most of them.
Yeah, mostly Instagram, Facebook, Spotify.
Okay.
And their website.
At newskeletalfaces.com. Correct? Yes. All right, guys. Thank you so much again. Stick around, hang around with us before we hang up here. Guys, that's it again. And if you give us that big thumbs up, please, guys, don't give us the finger, because that sucks. And if you'd like to, hit that subscribe button and join the SGBC. Find out about new cool bands like New Skeletal Faces, man. Thank you guys again for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, and we'll see you soon.
Peace.
Yeah.